And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. Exodus chapter 10, verse 21. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kodash, and double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. It's the brother Aharon coming back at you with a quick lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting on the elect. All right, and I have an article here I want to go into, and this is dated October 18th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. All right, so it's a few days ago, and this says, complete power outage hits Cuba. The nationwide blackout was triggered by the failure of a major power plant. Okay, and I think I saw this a few days ago as well, and been following it to see, what happens, and I haven't really heard too much about it. But nonetheless, it's happened, and I just want to touch on it because this is all part of the birth pains, right? The signs that lead to the greater or the bigger event. All right, we've been talking about eventually Babylon the Great, America is going to suffer a great power outage, and it's not just a prediction that we're making, but basically something that these elites have came out and told the world that this is going to happen. Okay, per the words of Klaus Schwab, a cyber attack, that would cripple basically the whole system, the infrastructure, all right, that your transportation, your medication, your livelihood, everything will be greatly affected. Okay, so seeing these things happening, all right, is not something that we should just, it's in Cuba, so we don't care about it. No, it's in Cuba, and Cuba is really close to America. If it's in Cuba, what are the chances that it could happen here in America? Okay, and what are things that are happening out there in Cuba since this happened that we can say, that's very interesting because these things that are happening over there, similar things are happening here in America. Okay, so let's read. It says, Cuba was hit by a mass blackout on Friday. And remember, Cuba, all right, and when you go back to the 12 tribes, the so-called Cubans, all right, go back to the tribe of Manasseh. Okay, so they're part of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, it says Cuba was hit by a mass blackout on Friday, with the entire island plunged into darkness after one of its power plants suffered what was described as a quote-unquote failure. Okay, the whole entire island, I believe they said over 10 million people or something like that was affected by that. Okay, so let's read. It says the failure, all right, the quote-unquote failure of Antonio Gutierrez power plant triggered the total disconnection of the national electrical system. The Cuban Energy Ministry said in a statement posted on X, formerly Twitter. That's interesting. So that's very interesting because this is the failure of the Antonio Gutierrez power plant triggered the total disconnection of the national electrical system. Antonio Gutierrez is the UN Secretary General. Okay, and he is heavy. I believe the Global Pact, whatever, 20-something Global Pact that they have going on. Okay, he's behind that. Or at least he's a big proponent of that. We can't say he's behind that because really he's just doing what the elites tell him to do. Okay, but he's a vessel that they're using to bring about these things, right? Over the past few years, since the whole CV thing happened, he's been heavy pushing for, climate control, the whole climate, global climate, whatever thing that they got going on, right? The whole, we're going from global warming to global boiling, and the population needs to be decreased, and we need to come up with new plans on how to have everyone digitally identified. He's big on those things. Okay, he's big on those things. no country is going to be left behind, and we all have to come together. And he pushes that a lot. Okay, so for this to be a what is known as a Antonio Gutierrez power plant, all right, what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? What concept is that all about? Okay, and why is that causing, okay, a complete blackout on the whole entire island? What's going on with that? Why is it that every time these people come up with these extravagant ideas to make society better, it always ends up getting worse and worse and worse? What's going on with that? Why don't you just leave things as they are? You know, because nobody asked you to come up and create this whole new power plant system. And here we are, 10 million people in darkness, and they're pissed off because you want to come in here with your innovative ideas. Untested, unproven, innovative ideas, man. All this science, this, and worshiping science, and AI is going to do this. All this shit is untested. Okay? It hasn't withstood the test of time. These things are happening at a rapid pace, and it's being pushed into society with no oversight or no, leverage by the people. It's all being done by corporations and being pushed on the people. And hey, that's why you have a police state that's coming. Okay, a surveillance police state, robotic police state, all kinds of different shit that's coming. Okay, in the name of keeping society safe. As the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then what? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Okay? And this being an election year, when you see all these things coming to pass like that, we in October, we got November, and we got December. I believe through the Spirit, 2025 is going to be something, man. And hey, brothers been saying it, the apostles been saying it, right? All the signs are there. Okay, they're setting things up for a brutal 2025, a year like never before. Okay, you can expect civil war, you can expect famines like never before. Okay, you want to talk about 2024 and prior with inflation, man. Wait till 2025, because all these things are building up. Okay, a lot of things are happening and have happened. All right, that's all leading to 2025, and it's like the cause is happening in 2024, and the effect will be felt in 2025, kind of thing. Okay, and if you think the cause was bad, well, wait for the effect. Again, a time like never before. Okay, it says the country's president Miguel Diaz-Canel said getting the grid back online was an absolute priority for the authorities, and that there won't be any rest until power is restored. Multiple videos and photos circulating online show life on the island grinding to a halt. See, what did Klaus Schwab say? A comprehensive cyber attack, right, will bring to a halt, your major infrastructure. What did he say? No, he said a major cyber attack. That's what he said. Major. That's how he says it. And he said it's going to make CV look like a cakewalk, a walk in the park, and look no further than Cyber Polygon. Okay. And man, look, let's just keep going. People are not ready for what's coming. Okay, they send the people up nicely. They got all this political bullshit going on. They got all these distractions going on. Meanwhile, things are happening on a real life level. See, but the mainstream media does a great job by not telling the people what's really going on. So people are not even attributing what's actually happening as reality. It's like, it's happening. Yeah, but we don't really hear too much about it. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, they're doing a lot to keep it away from you, because it's a very big deal. These are signs of the end. And if you're wise, as the scripture says, a wise man seeth the evil to come and hideth himself. Okay, a prudent man does that. Okay, but a fool walks on and is punished. That's what you're seeing now. Okay, whether it's going to be Trump, whether it's going to be Kamala Harrison, all right, whether they're going to set it up where Trump gets assassinated, because they've tried it twice, 3 times already, right? Maybe it's just a message for them to say, you know what, we got the American people following this guy. Let's take him out to piss them off and really start some shit in this country. right? What the hell's an election anyway? You don't need no election. What's this guy Elon Musk been saying? This might be the last election for you people and all these different things, right? So they're saying something up, man. You're not gonna have no more options. This is your last way of voting somebody in or whatever, which it doesn't really matter, right? Not to change the topic, but these things are put in your plate in your face. All right, it's all part of what is known as government, mind control. That's all it is. Okay, that's all it is, man. It's just distraction after distraction, just to keep the people's minds at bay. That's all. Okay, was it yesterday or today? You had Trump going to McDonald's and serving, basically doing a shift at McDonald's and shit like that. What kind of joke is this? What kind of folly is this? What type of shit are we dealing with now in this country? What president or candidate have you ever seen do some shit like that? At least I haven't seen it. It might have happened, but I haven't seen it. I'm gonna go do a shift at McDonald's. Like, what's going on? It's just madness, bro. And this place is done. It's finished. If these are your candidates and this is what they're running on, you know this place is finished. All right, you know this place is finished. When none of them is talking about bringing some form of spiritual understanding or going back to the Bible. Like, look at all the things that's happened over the past few years, and none of your candidates are saying that we need to turn back to God. None of them are pushing that. That should tell you all you need to know. Instead, Trump is pushing biometrics and, bringing order and so on and so forth. And Kamala Harris is just, we don't know what the hell she's saying. So forget about whatever they're saying over there. Okay, but again, this is all being done by design. Okay, creating the confusion. People have nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. It's just a ball of confusion. Babylon. Okay, and it's every day some new shit going on. Now they talk about Michael Obama is going to be popping out with Cardi B, okay, and they're going to be using drag people to promote the voting for Kamala Harris. Okay, I read an article a couple of days ago that witches, I believe in Colorado, was banding together to make sure that Kamala Harris wins president. I said, witches? Damn, these motherfuckers got witches out here in the political realm now? Okay, see? So it's 2025 is going to be something, man. It's definitely going to be something. All right, and we'll be watching to see how it plays out. Okay, but the Lord is definitely going to jack this place up, man. All right, America is done. Anyway, continuing. Going back to Cuba. All right. Let me see, where was it at? There you go. It says the country's president Miguel Diaz-Canel said getting the grid back online was an absolute priority for the authorities and that there won't be any rest until power is restored. That is interesting right there. That's what I call double speak right there. Okay, that's like I'm going to say something but not really say what I'm saying. There won't be any rest until power is restored. In other words, there's going to be civil unrest. Okay? The civilians are going to be they're going to be unrest. They're going to be at the opposite of rest. They're going to be troubled until the power comes on. So however long this thing goes, people are going to be in a restless state. Okay, and with that comes what? The violence. Could Cuba be just a test run for what's about to come here to America? I believe that's what's going on. Again, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I can believe these things. You don't have to believe it. But a lot of these things that we tend to say, it tends to happen. It tends to be exactly what we said it is. All right? So continuing, it says, multiple videos and photos circulating online show life on the island grinding to a halt, with the blackout affecting public institutions and businesses alike. So everything is at a halt. Right? The grinding has ceased, at least for the time period. Okay? It says the out of control power outages started across the country on Thursday evening, with Prime Minister Manuel Marrero then addressing the situation in a televised speech. The broadcast itself ran into technical troubles and went online later than scheduled. In his address, Marrero largely blamed the energy crisis on the, quote, intensification of the economic war and financial and energy persecution by the United States, end quote. You hear that? So the things that Cuba is suffering from, similar things are happening here in America. Because we could say that America is suffering from an intensification of economic war and financial and energy persecution, okay, by its own leaders. That's why the American people are going through what they're going through now. You ask anyone down the street, yo, how do you feel about the past 4 years compared to the previous 4 years? Oh yeah, no, things were better back then, man. I don't know, man. Hey, everything is expensive now, bro. Living is expensive. Like, yeah. Okay, you got all these so-called migrants coming over, right? They call them, migrants and stuff, but they're really illegal. Which really, I don't even call it illegal. I just say they're just a proxy army. Okay, it's a proxy army that's being brought in, all right, to set up the stage for martial law. Okay, because it's through these so-called what they call violent gangs and stuff like that that came over here in the mixture or whatever, right? That they're going to be using to catapult that violence. They've been trying it over the past few months. They've been putting it in the people's minds that, they got gangs, Venezuelan gangs and MS-13, and these people are here and all these different things and, whatnot, whatever, right? And they're depleting your resources and blah, 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 blah. They're putting it in your mind. It's called priming. Okay, it's called priming and it's called framing. Okay, creating the platform of good and evil for the future. That's what they're doing. Okay, they're setting up the stage right now for 2025. Okay, that's what they're doing. All right, so continuing says, the restrictions have hindered fuel imports and disrupted the flow of other resources to keep the electrical industry functional. Okay, can we say that's also something that's been happening here in America? Of course we can. Okay, of course we can. When you have 2 to 3 days of the ports being held up, okay, that's gonna have an effect. See, they did a great job by putting it in such a way that it caused enough anxiety, but people didn't really pay too much attention to it. Guess what? Over the past couple of years, there's been so many different things that you're about to feel in 2025. When you go back 3 years ago, when you go back 2 years ago, when you had all these food processing plants getting burned down, you're going to feel the effect in 2025 because that's going to result in famines. When you have infrastructure being broken, right? You have a chemical fire, a chemical plant going up in flames in Georgia. What kind of lingering effects is that going to have later down the line? See, let's say all this weather stuff that's going on right now, which we believe and know that it's all manipulated, of course, right? It's very convenient, just based on how FEMA and them are all operating. All of a sudden, they're blocking off, aid to the people that need it and all these different things. I mean, you got category 5 storms that just pop up out of nowhere and then they intensify and then they go down and then, all these different things that's happening. They say there's lithium in North Carolina. So yeah, they have a vested interest in that. See, just like they did in Lahaina and in Haiti. Haiti. What's the place? Oh, damn. This island, Hawaii. There you go. You see? Esau always does this shit. So you best believe they got Bill Gates buying up a whole bunch of land. When you go back into Agenda 2020, Agenda 21, which then has become Agenda 2030, right? What they want to do is eventually they want to shift people from various parts of the land, right? They want to put you in different places and then they have something known as 15-minute cities. Okay, I mentioned the other day that they're redoing all these roads to set things up for the 15-minute cities. Okay, so everything is being done. They're rebuilding houses. They're creating new buildings, new houses, new apartment complexes, and all these different things. And it's like these apartment complexes is coming with a whole lot of technological advancements. I mean, I'm like, yo, what do you need all this for? They're meeting a kind of standard or a certain type of code. See? So they're definitely setting something up, man. 2024 has been a year that's been building. all right, into 2025 with all this AI stuff that we've seen just in this year alone. This year alone, you've seen all kinds of AI advancements. This year, we saw Elon Musk come out with the brain chip. All right. Next year, we might see them officially make it a thing where it's like, all right, now it's part of the medical industry, and they're gonna implement it into society. Okay, and then very soon it's gonna become the staple of society. Digital IDs and so on and so forth. It's all gonna be done through AI and all that. See, you're not gonna be talking to people as much as you be talking to robots. And robots are just programmed to do yes and no. Everything in between, you just gotta be in the red or in the green. That's all they see. See, but everything is being set up for 2025 and beyond, man. So continue, it says, the country has long endured energy supply troubles, with rolling blackouts occurring across the island for months already. The problems have been caused by aged energy infrastructure and a dwindling external supply of fuel. Similar things are happening here in America. Okay, a weak infrastructure, old infrastructure. They're saying that some dams might collapse because of this whole flooding situation. And okay, we got that going. Okay, you've heard the FBI come out and say that, our water, is being targeted by, different countries. Cyber attacks could hit our water supply and all kinds of different stuff. So they're putting that in the mindset. Again, framing. Okay, they're framing your mind to see something that's not really there. But it'll come. Okay, it's called predictive programming. It'll come. Problem, reaction, solution. It'll come. Okay, it'll come. All right, because the main goal is to get everybody microchipped. So they cause as many problems as best as they can to convince you that there is a problem. And then there needs to be a solution. And guess what? They already have the solution for you. Okay, all of these things that you're seeing is all manufactured. Okay, there ain't no climate crisis. There's no such thing. It's made up. Okay, it's all made up. And then all they need is for you to believe it. See? And they're going to keep saying it until you believe it. So continue, it says, a fire in 2022 at the Matanzas oil storage facility also greatly contributed to the island's energy crisis. Have we not been seeing that? We saw train derailments in 2022. Okay. In 2021, it was the fires of these food processing plants. They got chickens getting cooked, right? They got cows getting cooked. They got pigs, pork was getting cooked. How is that all going to play a role in the next coming months? Continue, says, the 5-day-long blaze was triggered by an explosion sparked by a lightning strike and resulting in the destruction of some 40% of the country's main oil storage facility. Okay? A lightning strike? We know Esau manipulates the weather. Can he cause a lightning strike that can spark this type of shit? You're damn right. See? But we sound crazy when we say these things. But Esau comes out and tells you, hey, look at this technology. We can actually cause this to happen. And people are like, oh yeah, the science is so cool. And then when they actually use the science that affects people, and you tell them this is how it happened, they say, oh, you crazy, bro. Why would they ever do some shit like that? Fucking idiots, bro. But yeah, man, everything you're seeing is manufactured, right? It's called manufactured polycrisis. Okay? A manufactured polycrisis. All these things that you're seeing is to bring America into a third world country state. Okay? Because when you strip the power from the people, okay, especially when they depend on such convenience and, an easygoing life, and you strip that away from them, it's only a matter of time before they break and they end up giving up their hands or their foreheads for you. Okay? It's only a matter of time. Make them uncomfortable enough and promise them you're going to give them back their freedoms as long as they do what you're telling them to do. This is the only way. If you do this, then you get that. Well, but I was already, if you do this, then you get that. And that's how they're going to play it. Okay? That's how they're going to play it. But yeah, complete power outage hits Cuba. Could America be next? Well, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But I just want to finish off in Exodus, right? Because scripture says that there is no new thing under the sun. As a matter of fact, let's get that. All right, in the book of Ecclesiastes, let's see, Ecclesiastes, the first chapter. Right, Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9, it says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, you read that in the NLT. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Okay, so when the Lord told Moses, all right, which we're going to read right now in Exodus the 10th chapter, all right, to spread out his stretch out his hand, all right, basically toward heaven, which brought out the darkness. We read that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, in a little bit of detail as to what was happening. You can go back and read it on your own time. But you know, we get a description of how terrible those 3 days were. Okay, for the Egyptians, but for the children of Israel, we were good. We were good. We had light. We had everything. We were good. Because again, this was plagues that the Lord was putting on our enemies. And the same thing is going to be happening here in America. Babylon the Great, aka Egypt. Okay? There's the book of Exodus, chapter 10, verse 21. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. That's thick darkness right there. It may be felt. America, you're next. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. You see. So Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is going to do the same thing. All right. The same plagues that was here in Egypt back then is going to be here in America, modern day Egypt. Okay. You don't do all this wickedness and get away with it. It doesn't work like that. All right. There's always judgment that comes after the deed. Okay. It's called a sentencing. All right. When you're sentenced, all right, you're judged based on your deeds. All right. And America has reached a time of judgment. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.